Make sure you guys check out my boy King Sound's new hip-hop and rap album, King Talk, available on all digital platforms of Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, the whole nine. The link will be in the description, and I'll post it in the comment section. Check it out. All right, man. Drew Brees has chosen NBC Sports Sunday Night Football job over ESPN's Monday Night Football. He is a short list of candidates that have turned down the ESPN Monday Night spot. That includes Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, Tony Romo went back to CBS. Also, Phillip Rivers reportedly turned down the job and went back to the Indianapolis Colts. Let's talk about it. We back. Goodfellas Sports TV. Hit that subscribe button, bell icon button. Drew Brees signed a 2-year deal worth $50 million with the Saints. He could retire at any given time, but NBC Sports is going to wait till he retire, and he's going to be making around the neighborhood of $6 million. I linked the article from New York Post in the description. So he's going to be making around $6 million on NBC, and he's going to get really good money. Now, Peyton Manning was in negotiations for ESPN to make around $20 million, but he turned down the job. So as far as the Walt Disney situation, nobody really knows why people are turning down ESPN. Now, ESPN has had a lot of issues internally with laying people off in a frat house college type of atmosphere where they have some issues with some sexual harassment, and a lot of people just been leaving ESPN. I mean, Carrie Champion, I don't know if she officially left yet. Michelle Beadle, you had the situation when they broke up the NBA cast, and Chauncey went one way, Jalen went away, and went another way, and Paul Pierce went his own way. So, Walt Disney internally with ESPN has had a lot of issues with some of the employees, and I think the employment atmosphere is pretty much, scaring people away. But Drew Brees, is just the latest guy to turn down them. Now, he will be taking over for Chris Collinsworth, right? I know everybody happy to hear that. People tired of Chris Collinsworth's voice. And, who you listen to is subjective. Everybody hate a commentator. Some people don't like Tony Romo. Some people don't like Rich Gannon. Some people don't like Troy Aikman and Joe Buck. And, that's just a field where you're never going to please people in. All right? Sports commentators on live football and in NBA as well, too, it's like females. You know what I'm saying? They're never truly satisfied on where they want to eat at. So people always going to complain about that. I thought Peyton would do well in the booth. I thought Tony would do well in the booth. Tony is one of my new favorites. Him and Troy are really, really good. It don't really bother me none. Even Collinsworth. People forget that Collinsworth used to play the game. But Drew Brees will be replacing Chris Collinsworth. Mike Tirico will replace Al Michaels. Now, we talked about a couple months ago that ESPN tried to pair Al Michaels. They tried to get a trade for Al Michaels, right? And yes, they trade commentators and they buy contracts and they swap them out, right? And NBC Sports stopped them from getting Al Michaels, so they got to wait till Al Michaels' contract run out in the next 2 years. So in 2 years, you probably going to have Drew Brees and Mike Tirico in the Sunday Night Football booth. Super Bowls and all that. So, Chris Collinsworth may just go retire, and Al Michaels may head over to ESPN. So, Joe Tessitore, probably going to go do something else, and Al Michaels probably replace him. No telling if Phillip Rivers take the job after he retired. He got a lot of kids, too. So, I don't know if he want to do commentating after football, but, it said that ESPN may hire internally. I believe Dan Orlovsky is a candidate. Louis Riddick, I like to see him in the booth. But why not, give call Warren Moon or call Michael Vick, or somebody like that. Brian Greasy is another guy they thinking about. So also think about Kurt Warner. I would like to see Kurt in the booth. That's not bad. So we'll see what they figure out. But the ESPN job is just seeming like a job nobody wants. Maybe because it's in, well, if you're on the road, you won't be going to ESPN. I don't think you got to go to ESPN. They just give you the footage or whatever. But, I guess being in Bristol, in the NFL Network, being in L.A., who wouldn't want to be in L.A., right? Instead of Bristol, Connecticut, where it's cold and stuff at. But Drew Brees is going to be on NBC Sports. I don't know if a difference between doing it Sunday, doing it Monday. NBC seem to have better integrity on their company name the ESPN right now. Everybody turning around, so turning them down. But with Drew Brees, he gonna be getting that bag. He's set for after retirement. And, you know, these commentators, man, they making more money than NFL players. So if they can pay these commentators more money than some of the top annually than some of the top NFL players, NFL players got a problem. You know, and a lot of them have already voiced their displeasure with that, like Mike Thomas. So, you know, we'll see, man. But they just don't have to have a quarterback's perspective. Collinsworth was a receiver. You know, go out there and find somebody else, a receiver, you know, somebody else that can give you that. You know, I'm not sure if that's something Ray Lewis want to do, but a lot of dudes are comfortable with their post-football life. They didn't secure their money, some of these Hall of Famers, and they just don't want to, you know, do the day-by-day or work for somebody else. So it is what it is. I look forward to seeing Drew Brees in the booth. He's one of my players since he's been at, one of my favorite players since he was at Purdue. He's a Big Ten guy. Been rooting for him since San Diego to New Orleans. So hopefully, you know, he go out on top and, you know, he do some great things in his commentating career. So shout out to Drew Brees. Will he be better than Romo Aikman? Is yet to be determined. But hey, don't forget to be on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. All my links in the description. You need to reach me. Want to make a donation? Cash App, PayPal in the description. Best way to donate, share the video. I dropped the article link in the description so you guys can read it for yourself. One time for the one time. Goodfellas Sports TV. We gone.